Welcome to the DRN podcast. My name is Dustin. I am your host, and today I have a co-host, and her name is Angel.
Hi.
And today we're talking about self-protection for women. And she has a lot of stories for us, and I'm here to kind of speak about the same issues that need to be highlighted for the younger generation here. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Living the dream. So, we're going to talk about self-protection for women, and you wanted to make this an important topic to bring out there for the younger generation because of things that have happened in your past.
Yeah, basically, I found out from a young age, my mom did teach me, but I also found out the hard way on my own of how to be able to protect yourself, especially right before you turn 21 and when you turn 21. So the generations that are like turning 21, because I was drugged by an ex that thought I could trust.
Wow. Yeah, I hear a lot about the drugging, especially at bars and such. And every time when I go to the bar and I have to go to the bathroom or something like that, I always put it next to, let the bartender know. I shove like a napkin or something inside, and I twist it and I rip apart just so I know if it's ever been moved. It's something because, men get drugged too, but for women, it's a huge, huge issue, and it seems like the younger generation don't recognize it, and they kind of just give up their everything around their surroundings to just have fun, and they don't pay attention and stay cautious. You kind of need a balance, I think.
Yeah, so I was at my own home thinking I could be safe, when that's actually where you can be in the most danger with the people you trust, because you believe you can trust them. You'll leave your drinks unattended around them, or even let them make your drinks, because that's what had happened to me. I had let someone make my drink.
Yeah. And that's one of the hardest things too, being at your own home and feeling like that you should be able to trust someone, especially in your own home, and something goes south like that. So what is your advice to the younger ladies out there that are 18, 19, 20, and 21, just starting out in adulting after high school? How can they protect themselves everywhere they go?
Okay, so if you're out in a bar, there is what is called an angel shot. If someone is following you around and you notice it, you can go to the bartender and they will help you. Or there is, if you happen to leave your drink unattended, do not drink it again. Just leave it alone, because you don't know if someone has touched it. If you don't have those little techniques like you do have, because some people don't have them. And there's also these things, it's going to sound really funny, called a cup condom that you can put over your drink, and it allows you to put a straw in it. Those are very handy, and I do recommend those for people who do leave their drinks unattended a lot, because you can tell if those have been tampered with.
Nice. And some of those I didn't know about, especially the cup condom. That's interesting.
I've seen them online a lot.
So what about women trying to protect themselves, especially from a predator? So someone that, especially when they've drank too much at a bar and they're trying to go home, how can they what can they pay attention to keep themselves safe so they don't have a predator chasing after them?
The thing that I normally do is I make sure I have a friend who hasn't been drinking, or I bring a friend who I know doesn't drink, because they are more known to the signs. They're of right and sound mind, so they can see the signs of someone coming after you. But I also I try to stay away from a lot of people if I'm that drunk. I would recommend, if you do end up getting that drunk, just go up to the bar and ask the bartenders. They will call you an Uber or even call you a taxi to get you home safely, so you're not going home with somebody.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I know some of the bars around here too, they will actually pay, so you don't have to pay for a taxi around town to get back home, especially if you've drank too much. But I do notice that in a lot of different locations around the country, bartenders, either they don't care, or they're so busy because it's so full that they can't pay attention. So, especially like nightclubs, I noticed in California and New York City and Daytona Beach, Florida, like there's so much going on. So it's really hard for even security sometimes to notice something that's going on. So, what can a lady do? Because there's a lot of them that are afraid to go to security. They have this thing in society about snitching and all this kind of stuff. So, what is your advice to them that are afraid to speak up?
Honestly, just never be afraid to speak up, because that could end up saving your life if you do speak up. Because you never know when you come across a guy who could get too violent with you and end up hurting you very badly. Never, never, never be afraid to speak up, because if you are, and you don't speak up at the right times, it could end up being your life on the line. And that is sad to say. As a society, that's how it works. And it is sad that that's how women have to feel sometimes, because even I have been scared to go to security myself. Because I've been scared to go to anyone really at some points at time, because there are threats that do scare you. But once you get that help, you've got to realize that nothing can hurt you after they are kicked out or found, because most of the time after bars do find them, if they keep trying to come back, I say most of the time because there are situations where this doesn't happen, but if they do keep trying to come back and they keep harassing females, there are situations where they will arrest them for harassing people.
Well, that's some good information. Some of it I don't know, some of them I did, but when a guy's trying to give advice to a woman too, it's really hard to trust, because there's so many men out there. Even I've had friends in the past that I'm no longer friends with that would actually fake who they are. And I've had ones that I had to stop being friends with because they're like, they actually intentionally try to be a genuine nice guy just to get someone to hook up with and take them home drunk. And then all of a sudden they're complete opposite, a womanizer, abusive idiot. And, it's kind of appalling to me, because now when I was younger, I didn't quite understand it at all. But I've had ladies back in college that would say that they're kind of afraid of me because I'm too nice. And I never understood what that meant by how am I too nice? And now that I'm way older, now I kind of understand it, because, after experiencing and talking to a lot of people throughout my lifetime, I can see how some people are very, very manipulative and very vindictive. And it's really sad. So, what are some warning signs? Can you provide anything for the ladies out there about the warning signs of what you can notice about someone who may be faking themselves, or being a narcissist in some sense, or someone that's a womanizer that you can pick up on?
Okay, so the main signs I've seen, because I've met a couple womanizers in my short 21 years because of where I'm from, it's normally they are very, very nice, or they say, oh, I would never do that. That's what my ex did. And sometimes they're being genuine, but a bulk majority of the time, that's when they're being manipulative. Because I had an ex who said, oh, that's what my ex did. I would never do that to anyone. And he turned out to do it to me. And I think it's also because some women do end up hurting men, and then they end up being this way, but it also doesn't give them a right to go do it to women who have done nothing to them. And another warning sign I've seen is if they're adamant, like very, very, very adamant. Like I went to a bar, and it was a 18 and up bar. You would get X's on your hands if you were under 21, so they wouldn't serve you alcohol. And this guy was just very adamant, like trying to buy me a drink even though I was under 21, just very adamant about everything. And I found out later he ended up getting a girl so drunk she couldn't tell right from wrong and took her home. So it's very, like, men who are very overly adamant about everything.
Yeah, I can actually agree with that. I've seen that a lot too. Um, I try to pay attention to signs when I'm at the bars and everything too, just to kind of watch out for people around. I've even had people. So when I used to live in New York City, I kind of stick to myself. I would go to the bar where my best friend Theo would work, and I just wait for him and have a few drinks. And there's these two ladies that came in who I'm currently friends with still since 2017 when I met them. And, when they came in the bar, and they are pretty, and every single person all the guys in there were all hitting on them and trying to woo them and talk to them. And then they come and sit by me. They're like, hey, you're the only one that's not trying to hit on us. I was like, I just don't really see the point of it, So we ended up all becoming good friends. And now I kind of see what the ladies are looking for too. They're not looking for someone to just be hitting on them all night. It's one thing to just randomly meet somebody and, you guys can become friends. But something that men really need to understand is that when a lady goes out, how they dress, it does not mean, hey, I'm here for you, come pursue me. It means they're out for themselves and they want to just simply enjoy their night. And, that kind of brings up another topic about the safety. So there is the whole dressing issue. So to me, I can give a crap about how a woman dresses depending on where they're going. Obviously you're going into a church or a funeral, you should probably dress appropriately. Same thing with employment. But, there's a lot of people out there that says that a woman should leave their house dressed completely covered because that's how you get raped. But I've seen where people have done that and they still were like that, especially in the Middle East. You see the women are all covered and they still have that same issue over there. So what is your views on all of this that you would like to share?
So it's never normally about what you wear. It never is. It doesn't matter if you're 100% covered, feet, ankles, everything are covered. If a man wants to do what he wants to do, he's going to end up doing it. And it's sad to say because it shouldn't be that way, but you could be wearing the most skimpiest clothing or you could be completely covered up. Clothes have nothing to do with it. Some people are 7 years old when it happens and they're wearing kids' clothing. Or some people are in their 50s and wearing grandma clothing. Or their 60s or 70s or whatever. And some are in their 20s wearing clothes that I typically wear, which is, a little bit more showy, but it doesn't mean that I want a man. I have a man, I do have a fiance, but doesn't mean I want other men. I dress up for me. I don't dress up for anyone else. When I wear clothes I want to wear, it means I feel good about myself, not because I want someone to come hit on me or because I want any sexual encounters that night. I dress up for me.
Well said. I agree. Men. The thing is if you are unable to control your own urges, you need some mental help. Seriously, you need to go and see somebody and get some help. Me, I have always had urges. I'm a guy, I always had the sexual urges, but I've never, ever forced anyone to do something. If I have the urge, well, guess what? I have a hand if I have to use it. Go to the bathroom, use my hand, done. But seriously, the key word is no. If a woman says no to you, you take it. You don't try to manipulate them. It's really not that important. Sex is not that important. Sex is mainly made for the intimacy between you and the person that you love. It's not just for fun. I mean, you can have fun in a relationship, but the whole point of sex is to have you both have a more closer connection with each other. So I guess that could bring up another topic for the younger ladies too in the generation, because you see a lot of women getting pregnant young now, and most of them are watching all of these TV shows that shows sexual interactions and about love, which they portray love this certain way that does not actually exist in the real world. And then they're getting pregnant at like 15, 16, 17, and they're not even out of school. They're not even able to finish school. And I don't want to say necessarily they're ruining their life, but they've ruined their chances to getting somewhere that they want to and to pursue their dreams. So, what would you like to say about that certain situation?
I honestly can't say much. I'm a product of a teen pregnancy. My mom was 16 when she got pregnant with me, had me at 17. She did end up finishing high school. She did end up getting a career. She didn't want that for me because it is a harder life. You have to work so much harder and people look down on you, which, I mean, isn't completely fair. I mean, some of these things don't happen because you want them to. Some pregnancies are a product of rape or anything else. And it is sad. And some people do decide to keep their babies. My mom was with an ex and he ended up being a drug addict. My biological father is a drug addict. So, I mean, sometimes some people plan them, some people don't. What really needs to be more talked about in schools too, that I found out, is protection, like how to protect yourself as a woman with sexual interactions, because some of these are because women don't realize that the guy's not wearing a condom, or they don't know much about birth control, or they don't know much about keeping themselves safe, even from STDs, because you could catch an STD while getting pregnant, and it could harm your baby, and it could harm you. And it could, in a sense, harm your school life, yes. It could harm your social life. It could harm everything. Now, I'm not downing teen moms because I am a product of a teen mom. I have friends that are teen moms, and they're doing amazing in life now. It does take longer to work towards your goals, but you can do it even if you do end up getting pregnant young. I mean, I was pregnant at 17. I did end up having a miscarriage, but I mean, teen moms, they're strong. But it's because they had to grow up at a young age too.
Agreed. I can understand that. And sorry about the miscarriage. That definitely hits hard and can really make your mental health kind of dwell there. I know there's definitely women out there that are very strong, and especially some where the parents are not in their lives, and especially ones that are overzealous in religion based. You know, I am a Christian myself, but I don't believe in kicking my own daughter out because she got pregnant. You know, things happen in the world, but I know some parents will just kick them out if they're pregnant, and then I gotta say, those ladies are the strongest ladies if they're able to come out of it and not become, you know, addicted to drugs and stuff like that, and they actually do it the right way. I mean, that is a hard life. Raising a child by yourself without the father, which, by the way, if you abandon your child and you don't help out, it's one thing if you guys separate, but men, if you leave and you're not in your child's life, you really are the most worthless pile of trash on the planet. And you should be lucky. You should be happy and feel proud that you can bring a life in the world. Because I still can't. And I'm 35. So. But, yeah. I guess this is going to be where we end this episode today. And Angel, I want to say thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. And guys, make sure you follow me here on Spotify and Good Pods and YouTube and all the other distributions that this will be on. And I will look forward to you guys being on here checking out the next episode. Thank you.